Hey guys, Matt from TOTALmtg here, and welcome to this week's deck tech. So on the deck this week, I am doing an updated deck added in Ixalan, as Ixalan is out now. I've been asked to update some of my rotation-proof decks with some of the Ixalan cards. So what I'm doing is starting with the mono black deck. This has been requested off a few different people, so I thought I'd start with this week with this deck first. So, what new cards am I going to add into the mono black deck? Well, Walk the Plank is an auto include for me now. It destroys target non-Merfolk creature. There's not a lot of Merfolk decks out at the moment. They may be in the future, but this is still a very, very good card. Double black makes no difference to us. We're mono black. This is going to be easy to cast, and it's just going to be a great addition to the deck. The next card I'm adding in is Sword Point Diplomacy. 2 and a black, reveal the top 3 cards of your library. For each of those cards, put that card in your hand unless the opponent pays 3 life, then they have to exile the rest. A lot of the times, this is just going to be pay 3, draw 3 cards. They're not really going to want to take 9 life unless they've got huge amounts of life and in no danger whatsoever. They might exile one of the cards because it might be too good for them to give to us. But I feel like this is a very good chart, very good card, and it's a fun card as well. And it's added in there, getting rid of, I will obviously say what we've got rid of so far, but this is one of the cards that we're adding in. The next card is one of the best removers I think will be coming standard at the moment, which is Vraska's Contempt. It is 2 double black, exile target creature or planeswalker, and you gain 2 life. This is instant speed removal for planeswalkers and really annoying hard creatures. It's going to exile those gods. It's going to be really good getting rid of Hazarat and stuff like that. Vraska's Contempt is going to be in the main as a one drop at the moment, but we are going to have more in the sideboard just in case we want to pull some more in. The one more addition in the main board is a land, which is Field of Ruin. Sacrifice Field of Ruin, destroy target non-basic land. With all these new like Azcanta cards and stuff like that can flip into lands, they are really, really good. So this will help us maybe destroy the land if we have to. It's just like an added bit of removal for cards that I think will be popular in the format as we speak. So like I say, these cards are going to be new additions to the deck. We're getting rid of Torment of Hellfire, Painful Lesson, Cruel Reality, and plus some extra changes in the sideboard. But let's have a look what the mono black deck looks like now with a few changes. And there is some other cards that have come in as well from different sets, but those are the Ixalan added cards, apart from an extra one in the sideboard that you'll see very soon. So we're going to start off looking at the creatures. We have a 4 of Gifted Aetherborn. It is a great double black Death Touch lifelink card. It is really good, and it's actually zoomed up in price at the moment. For an uncommon, it's probably quite dear at the moment. But it is, you've probably already got these in collection. It's a really good card. Trade off with basically anything and can gain that important life. We also have a 2 of Gonti, Lord of Luxury. When this enters, you get to look at the top 4 cards of opponent's library. You can put one of them in exile and cast it for any mana. Really good card. Like I say, Death Touch as well, so it will trade off with the majority of creatures in the format. 3 Demon of Dark Schemes. This is our beta. This is one of our finishers. We've got ways to make a little bit of energy. We've got lots of kill in this deck. This is mono black control. We have a lot of destruction in this deck. And Demon will be there at the end to sweep up, maybe nick a few creatures. Obviously not as good as the Scarab God, but we don't add blue into this deck. It could be if you wanted to add a slight bit of blue to make this deck really OP, you can add the Scarab God. But I'm keeping it mono black. It keeps it slightly cheaper, and it's obviously a lot of fun as well. Our last creature is a 2 of Noxus Gearhulk. Comes in when it enters the battlefield, you may destroy another target creature, and then it gives you a bit of life as well, which is also, it can be very handy when this comes, it's going to come down late. And with we've added in a Planeswalker now, we may be able to, even after this dies, recur it back to the battlefield. So we're going to the spells now. There's 26 spells in total. It is an all-spell deck nearly. Starting off with 4 Fatal Push. Probably the best removal in the format. It's in Modern, it's everywhere, Fatal Push. Absolutely great card. Like I said, we're adding in Walk the Plank, so we're going to have 4 of them. Destroy target non-Merfolk. We don't want to come against any Merfolk creatures out there, but this card will still hit a lot of creatures, majority of every deck you'll come against. 3 Bontu's Last Reckoning. A lot of people think this is a bad card. It is bad in certain situations, but late game for us, when we just want to clear the field, get everything in the graveyard ready for the Big Daddy Demon to come down. You know, if we've got a lot of mana, we can play this, untap, you know, the lands don't untap, but we might only have to use that 3 and still have lands available to do other stuff. Bontu's Last Reckoning is a bit essential in this deck. We do run Yahini's Expertise as well, but Bontu's Last Reckoning I have found has won me games. Also a couple of Doomfall, it's hand disruption, and it also gets rid of that annoying Hydra. Sometimes those energy decks are just left with that Hydra, or it's maybe Hazarat is just left on the field, and Doomfall will get rid of that creature for you. So we got a couple of them. On to the next set of spells, we have a 1-of Essence Extraction. 3 damage to target creature and gain 3 lives. So you can see in the deck we have got ways to make a little bit alive here and hopefully, you know, keep alive in the early game. Live Fast is one of our card draws. You know, we need that life because this costs us 2 life. But it also gains us energy ready for later for the demon as well. Draw 2 cards, you get 2 energy and you lose 2 life. Sword Point Diplomacy, the new card, is going to be in there as a 3-of. Obviously taking out Painful Lesson. I'm adding this in. It's you know, it's a good fun new card. We potentially could pay 3 and get 3 cards in hand. It's not going to cost us any life. If it's going to cost anyone any life, it's going to be your opponent, which could potentially be a 9 life. We also have a 1-of Vraska's Contempt in the main board. I've already spoke about how good I think this card is, and we're going to have an extra couple in the sideboard as well. On to the final spells of the deck. It's a 2-of Yahini's Expertise. Gives everything -3/3. Good for sweeping up those token decks, and maybe we could play a different card. You know, there's lots of cards we can play off this as well. Maybe Live Fast, maybe the Sword Point, maybe Doomfall. So we can cast off Yahini's Expertise as well. And a 2-of Liliana's Death's Majesty. It's a new addition to the deck. I just felt like I was bringing in a lot from the sideboard when it was in my sideboard. So now it's definitely going to make the main. We can recur creatures, we can create blockers with it as well. And we can also just destroy all non-zombies if we get to that -7. On to the lands now we have. The lands have changed a little bit, like I said. We've only got 1 Desert of the Glorified now. Literally that there is, it's going to come in as a tap land, yes, but it might also just be pay 2, draw a card. It's got the cycling on there. The Field of Ruin is the addition from Ixalan as well. I've also added in a Scavenger Grounds. Helps us against graveyards a little bit. You know, it works against us a little bit, but you know, there's a lot of Godfarer's gift decks out there and stuff like that, so we might need to just clear the graveyard and hopefully fill it up again where we can utilise it later. And we have 20 swamps, 23 lands in total. We're mono black. We don't, you know, I'm feeling like even though we're control deck, we can get away with 23. If you feel like you want 24, just drop one of the spells and let me know how it goes on. So let's go to the sideboard now. So new addition from Ixalan as well. I didn't put this obviously in the main picture at the start because it is a sideboard card. It's not an actual change to the deck, and it was a sort of late card for me to put into the sideboard. Kite Sail Freebooter. It could just be an extra blocker for us. It's a flyer. It's a 1/2 for 2, but it does let us see our opponent's hand and exile a non-creature, non-land card from it until this leaves the battlefield. So it works well being in a control deck, and it could just be an extra blocker for us as well. Duress is back as well. 3 Duresses in there. I love Duress. I'm so glad that's back in standard. Reveal the hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it, and then that player discards that card. 3 Trespasser's Curse. Now this is just, you know, this is like a meta call for me at the moment. There's so many tokens decks out there, and Trespasser's Curse will just be really, really good for us. When they're sort of like flowing the field with all their creatures, they're going to lose 1 life, and we're going to gain 1 life for each creature that enters the battlefield. Really good card for us, and it's a bit of a meta call. Also 2 of Lost Legacy. Really good, just picking out that really annoying card that you just want to get rid of. Lost Legacy obviously can't hit artifacts, but it's still, you know, great card in standard. Never to Return, we got just a 2 of Destroy Target Creature or Planeswalker, and obviously has the Aftermath as well. And also, like I said, we have the extra 2 of Vraska's Contempt that I hope, you know, we will probably bring in a lot of the games because it's just that good. But it's there. I didn't, you know, I couldn't really fit the 3 in the main. Maybe you want to swap out the Yahini's Expertise. If you want to do that, put Yahini's in the sideboard and go for 3 of these in the main. I'll leave that completely up to you. I will be firing off this deck this week, hopefully, and the next week on Twitch, just to see how the new configuration works. I'm really excited to hopefully, you know, see how it goes, and maybe even take it to a league if we get quite a few wins against some top decks like we had in previous. I do think that these additions just only make the deck stronger. So guys, that has been this week's deck tech. I hope you liked the updated mono black deck. You absolutely loved it before, so I hope you love it even more now. I will be going through all the decks that I've gone through on Ixalan that were rotation proof week by week and adding in the Ixalan cards. Any other decks you want to see me build around, any cards or anything from the new set, just leave it in the comments below as well. I really do appreciate it if you also give the video a thumbs up. You don't know how much that really helps the channel. And if you're new to us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Heading on the way to 3,000 subs, and we will have a giveaway then, of course. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for taking your time to watch the video. My name's Matt, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.